The real disaster for Europe and for Britain and for the West is perhaps to see Liz Truss's incompetence in a wider image and in context. So for Putin, Liz Truss is just one of a number of failing democracies, and it's the democratic world which is opposing Putin. It's the democratic world that should be holding together and should be ready to resist Putin's attacks on democracy, on Ukraine, on our standards of civilization as we know it, our standards of honesty, our standards of decorum, our standards of what is the right way to behave. And of course, at the moment, we had Boris. Well, you know, for all Boris's failings, Boris was a staunch supporter of Ukraine. And then we have Liz Truss. And yes, from a European perspective, maybe under Boris, Britain was no longer reliable. Under Mrs. May, Britain was no longer reliable. But Britain did lead that support for Ukraine. Now I don't think under Liz Truss, Britain could lead the way to the loo. As for that wider context, the problem is the fact that chaos is infectious. Chaos is worse than COVID in some ways, in the way that it can be passed from one nation, from one place to another. Because now, in all likelihood, Italy is going the same way. Italy has just elected an extremely right-wing government. What if Italy is also taken out of the reliability group? So, France is not reliable because France is overridden with industrial action. And France is now even worried about its food supplies. Germany is still getting used to its new chancellor. Britain, of course, has Liz Truss, need we say more? America has Biden with the ice cream cone. Need we say more? Italy, maybe we can rely on Italy. Oh no, Italy's just lurched to the right. And of course, there are other countries around Europe who are more likely to actually capitulate to Russian demands, accept gas and so on. And that relationship to support Ukraine could fracture so quickly, particularly when there is no lead from the stronger European nations, from Germany, from France, from Britain. From Britain, snigger. If the Europes are looking at Britain at this moment, they must be giggling into their soup. I despair. I despair, and as I say, chaos is infectious. And I can imagine President Putin is rubbing his hands with glee, and Dmitry Medvedev, well, he can't really be rubbing his hands with glee because he's so moist. I mean, he's probably rubbing his hands and rubbing up a lather. Mr. Medvedev does have the limpest handshake in history. I said the other day it was rather like massaging a wet leak. I think probably it's more like I've not put my hands into Kwasi pockets, but God knows what's lurking there after all this time, because he doesn't seem to have a smile. He didn't seem to have a smile on his face the other day, did he? Maybe whatever was there, whatever he was hiding there, has gone rotten. Sorry.